All right, so I'm gonna just make this quick video, maybe 5 minutes. Just so a brother in the Discord server asked me about wet dreams, how to deal with them, how to avoid them, and stuff like that. And so I'm like, all right, bet. So let me just make a video about it so that if any of you guys have questions on how to deal with them, you can just watch this video, and there you go. So what are wet dreams? First of all, wet dreams are just like when you have an erotic dream in your sleep and you involuntarily ejaculate, right? So, first of all, number one, it's not a relapse. Very, very important. People think that when they're on semen retention, when they're on NoFap, that if they have a wet dream, like there's they're like their progress or streak is like fucked with. Like, no, bro, it's not a relapse. It's natural. It's involuntary. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't your fault. It was your body decided to do that for you. It wasn't you. So it's not a relapse. That's the first thing. Number two, don't use wet dreams as an excuse to relapse. I see this all the time. Guys would be like, oh, I already like wasted a bunch of semen last night by wet dreams, so I might as well just go jack off to porn or whatever. No, what the hell? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you? Why would you mess up the rebooting process and like your healing process of restoring the purity in your body and your mind and your heart by jacking off to porn again just because you had a relapse, which is completely natural and okay. It's just no. Just no. All right. So basically, yeah. If you have a wet dream, don't even worry about it. Like you're good. Literally, you are completely and utterly fine. Like there's no problem with that. Now, people don't like wet dreams. They feel like, I'm wasting semen, or um it gets wet and messy whenever I wake up in the morning or whatever. Doesn't want to deal with that. Don't want to change underwear every day. I'm like, all right, okay, fine. So I'm gonna just give you my tips on how I avoid wet dreams while on semen retention. So first of all, me personally, I've only had two wet dreams in my entire life, and both only happened when I was on NoFap. When I was on PMO, I never had a wet dream. Never, never, never. Thought it was weird. I'm like, what? But then as soon as I got on semen retention NoFap, I started having a wet dream. Coincidence? Not really. That just goes to show, because what a wet dream is doing is it's getting rid of excess semen or excess sperm in the body that the body decides that you don't really need anymore, right? Um so if I never had any excess sperm or excess semen, then that probably is a sign that I did the deed a little too much, if you know what I'm saying. So you have to so when you start NoFap, start semen retention, don't be surprised if you get a couple wet dreams. It's completely normal. And it's a good sign. It's definitely a good sign, because your body isn't used to you retaining your semen for a long period of time like that. It might be used to maybe going a couple days or maybe a week without it, but like long period of time, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, your body would be shocked. I'm like, what the heck? This guy is not wasting his life force anymore. Wow, that's crazy. So, yeah. So that's why wet dreams happen, and I've only had two. Like I said, once it was a pretty big mess. It was really wet. Um, in the second one, it wasn't as bad. It was like a little snippet, little couple drops. It wasn't really that bad. So and then after that, I never had a wet dream again. This is how I avoid wet dreams and what I would recommend you guys to do. The reason why you're having a wet dream is because there's too much energy, too much pressure down there. Way too much. The reason for this is because you have conditioned yourself to be expelling your sexual energy and your semen and your life force energy on a regular basis, that your body is not conditioned and it's not used to having all of that built up energy. It's not used to. It usually uses all that energy to ejaculate and to fap and to do all this, right? But now, since you're not doing those things anymore, it has no idea what to do with that energy. And that also goes back to, that ties into like another video or another topic where like Why am I getting so many urges? Why is it so hard to get past day 5? Blah blah blah. Day 7, day 8, day 9. Why is it so fast to get past day 14? Because guys, you need, everything requires training. Everything requires conditioning. Everything requires practice. When you first start semen retention, don't expect to just go 90 days straight off the bat. I know a couple of people who are able to do that, and what, hats off to you, bro. But like majority of us, like we can't do that. So, and reasonably so. If we're so used to jacking off every day, obviously we're not gonna be able to successfully prolong semen retention, have a prolonged period of semen retention when we're so addicted. You know, it's just common sense. So, this is how you avoid wet dreams for as long as you want semen retention. So I mentioned that the energy and the pressure is way too much down there, right? What you need to do is take that energy up, spread. Okay? Look, the energy, there's too much pressure down there in your sex chakra, sex or root chakra. It's too much. So what you do is you take the energy, make it go up, and spread throughout your entire body. Up and spread. How do you do this? The way that you do this is whenever you get urges, whenever you start having sexual fantasies, or like just getting horny, instead of like, you know, just being horny, I'm like, oh my God, take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and start thinking about something that you want to do, or start thinking about something more valuable to you, and then use that same energy that you were about to use, or you would usually use to fap, to masturbate or whatever, or ejaculate, and put that energy to whatever your goal is, whatever you want to do. For example, let's say you want to be a basketball player, but you're a coomer. You're on semen retention. You start being on semen retention. You start having wet dreams, and you start having regular urges. This is what you do. When you're thinking about porn, or when you're thinking about relapsing, or when you're thinking about horny thoughts, whatever, you say, okay, breathe, basketball. Imagine yourself dribbling